don't have that dangerous look on you that you had in the last couple of games. How are you feeling after that?
Yeah, listen, I'm still very annoyed, and we'll get into it. But first of all, I have to say, on the train home, because I was out for Ben's birthday, it's Ben Kaufman's birthday tomorrow, so we went out, and my mate Fabian joined us. So I was watching it on the way home, your reactions to the goal. And I have to say, I can't decide who won the Ben and Simeon annual pigeon off. Because Ben went first and put in some mighty effort into his pigeon, but I think Simeon, your neck work and shoulders were more Richarlison, so you might have to have another.
How many times did you watch it, Brian? How many times did you watch it to gauge the this reaction?
Well, I called in VAR. I'm waiting for them to come back, but I think I've watched it about 3 or 4 times to get the. To get it, and I can't decide, so I think we need to have a second leg, or hopefully you'll score again and you get to do it. So we'll check it. But everyone, I recommend people going back to watch that video and putting in who won the pigeon off. But yeah, how are you guys?
Yeah, I mean, don't really know how to feel about that, because obviously the first moments of the game was shocking, as it has been for the previous couple of games. But I'm very happy and proud with the fight that we did show coming back from 3-0 down. I mean, you're not going to find, well, no team has come back from 3-0 down to draw at Anfield before in the Premier League. Obviously, we let it slip in the last minute, but you got to commend the fight.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I've been on here on many channels before saying that we need open heart surgery in that defence. We don't need open heart surgery. We need to find a donor to replace that heart, because the heart is dead. The defence is an absolute disgrace. And one thing Grandpa said that I completely agree with, I always believe that a team should play to their strengths. And our strength is most definitely going forward. But instead of playing to our strengths, we play to defend our weak, or to kind of stop our weakness. And I think that's where we're going to Villarreal. Like you said, once we went 3-0 down, we showed some fight. There's no debate there. We showed some fight. I think Liverpool stepped off a little bit at 3-0, but that's not to deter from what we did. What I will say is after that 3-0 at 30 minutes, I said to Ben that I think Tottenham should get naming rights with Pizza Hut or Domino's, because they give refunds if their pizza's not delivered in 30 minutes. So I think that's what our away games. We should go into a naming right for pizza with Domino's or pizza. But yeah, listen, that defence, it's just an absolute shambles. And you look at it, if you look at our away games recently, the last goal against Wolves, right at the end, conceding that equaliser against Everton, conceding 2 at Southampton, 5 at Newcastle, we all know about it in that time, and 6 in total, and 3 here in the. It's not acceptable.
Sheffield United as well.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, this has got to stop. We're either conceding loads bloody early, or not being able to see the job through at the end. And it was awful
Both like today.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, only Spurs, like you said, Ben. No one's come down from 3-0 down at Anfield to get a tie. We're on the cusp of doing it. And then we're like, oh, no. No.
Lucas bloody Moura, Brian, eh?
I mean, the fact he's getting on the pitch when we know he's leaving, the fact he's coming on the pitch. I mean, again, I have to say, people are talking. I'm agreeing with people now that Porro may not be the answer at right back in a back four or right wing back, but Kulusevski needs to be dropped. I'm sorry, play Porro, because you can see what he can do offensively. And I think if you take the shackles off of him and not having to be so reliant on defending, kind of like when we had Ginola, you're like, just stay up there. Don't come back.
I don't know if you can compare Porro to Ginola.
No, I'm not saying skill-wise, but I'm saying he couldn't defend. So Spurs were like, just stay up there, so when we get the ball, we can give it to you. And we didn't rely on him coming back. Porro, defensively, can't do it. He's all at sea. Whether that's setting into the new system, Ariane said he's like this at Sporting. He's offensive. He's a very offensive-minded player. And you're seeing his qualities. Can anyone recall something he's done well defensively?
Well, Brian,
Seriously?
what I would say, Brian, he's still a young player, and surely
Yes,
if he keeps making these mistakes, he'll learn from these mistakes after time goes on. And Sim brought up a good point last week when we were talking. Carl Walker, he was shocking defensively when he first joined here and for the first few years, and he improved dramatically under good management. So can you not say Porro might do the same?
Yeah, he might do it, but at that time with Carl Walker, we had Pochettino there for 4 years. If Porro's here for 4 years, he'd probably have 15 managers. So,
but I agree with that point, Brian. That's the whole thing. You need stability, don't you? And that's not what we offer.
We do. And I'm going to throw my head. Mason definitely should not be. We shouldn't be talking about him as bloody manager. Listen, it's all well and good showing the fight. We've got 1 point from 6. It's all well and good. Listen, also what I will say, and that's not just solely down to Mason. This is the players. The way I'm looking at it right now, if we're in Europa League, Conference League, or not even Europe at all, let's just say, players want to come and play for a manager with a name. I'm not saying but you look at it, they want to come and they're enticed by working under this manager. I'm sorry, and who's going to say, yeah, do you know what? I think I can grow and develop under Ryan Mason. And that's not his fault. I'm not having to dig at Mason. He's not ready. Maybe like Ariane said, with the next manager, again, he's a system for a long time. And then he's like heir to the throne. But I just can't see how we could say he could be manager right now.
I don't know, Brian. You say that, but Man United signed really good players under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Arsenal have signed good players under Mikel Arteta.
Ole was a legend.
Yes, but
Ole is a legend. Yeah, he's a Man United legend as a player, not as a manager.
Legend.
But
he's a
knew
treble winner.
Zinchenko. He knew Gabriel. He was also
exactly, and he's got everything. Yeah, and you look at those, those players, those managers were given money and trust, and the final say on what happens.
Yeah,
not going to happen here, and I just don't think. Listen, I think. We could all say, yes, he's brilliant. He bleeds Tottenham. He's Tottenham. But then in the same breath, I hear people say, well, we can't play Japhet Tanganga because he's worse than what we've got. But he bleeds Tottenham like Mason. And then you look at it. I would have Tanganga in tomorrow over Dyer. I really would. What? Because Salini said it. Conte said it. Everyone's saying it. These players keep making the same mistakes. There's no accountability.
Yeah.
There's none. So do you know what? Japhet Tanganga could come in at centre-back. Like I said, I call him Google Street Map because all we do is whenever there's a bloody defensive position that needs filled, we just pick him up and plop him there. He doesn't get a consistent run in the team. I would have Japhet Tanganga starting against Palace. What? He could do worse than Dyer? I don't see how. He could do worse than what Romero's doing? I don't see how.
Yeah.
I don't see how.
Brian, based off the last 2 games under Mason, now we're in a real dogfight for that Europa League spot if we want it. Yep. Do you think we can get it, or do you think we've got too much to do?
As I said, I don't really care. We know what's going to happen now. It's going to come to the point where it's, we haven't got Champions League money coming in, so we can't spend, we can't do this, we can't do that. And all this nonsense is going to come out. And I'm trying to work out how this works. If we go Thursday to Sunday, which is obviously like Europe with Tuesday or Wednesday to Saturday, I just don't see with this squad, we need such a major overhaul. That do we have the squad to be able to compete in all these, whether it be the Europa League or the Conference League, or just go out of Europe for a season, hopefully only a season, deal with what we have to deal with, and then when we're ready, also when there's a better squad depth, go for it. Because at the moment, when it comes down to the money, I couldn't give a monkey's how much Spurs earn or lose out of Europe. We're not going to get Champions League because, once again, we haven't backed a manager, we haven't listened to a manager, we haven't listened to a director of football, and we're paying the consequences. So I don't see what benefit we get from being in Europe. I really don't. So
yeah, it's a fair point.
I don't see. I mean, because then we're going to get told you can't buy Champions League quality players when you're in the Europa League. Well, Arsenal got Zinchenko and Jesus. Manchester United got Anthony, Casemiro, Martinez.
Yep.
But there's a reason why we can't do it, apparently, because something only happens in Tottenham, funnily enough. But yeah, like I said, God knows what we'd be doing without Harry Kane. If that man goes in the summer, we are so screwed. So screwed. But
we are screwed if Harry Kane goes. But I did actually want to talk to you about Heung-min Son. 4 goals in his last 5 games. Is he back on form now? Is Sonny back?
So as I've said, I'll always stand up and say when I think I'm wrong, when I've been wrong, and credit is due. And I've given Heung-min Son a lot of heat this season, and I think some of it is justified. But there's no denying he's playing with a spring in his step and a bounce. Today I'll probably label as his best performance of the season. I think he was really, really good. Unlucky with hitting the post twice. He just looked like a weight had been off his mind. And that's what you want to see. When Sonny's in that frame of mind, he's unstoppable. But like I said, I believe that he deserves some of the criticism. But today and recently, he certainly deserves a hell of a lot of praise. And I'll stand up and say that. I think he was really, like I said, I think he was our best player today. By far. By far. So fair play to Sonny, and we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, he can finish with a flurry, and get some confidence and everything back, and we go from there. But he was very, very good today, without a doubt.
All right, Brian. Thanks for coming on today, my friend, and we shall speak to you very soon.
You certainly will. And as always, Levy out.